What's up, guys? Bear Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we're going to be kind of talking about the influence of this new Soul Gathering statue is going to be on the auction house. Because, previously we had Soul Perfection. It really didn't change the prices on the auction house, and that's mainly because there wasn't too much demand for even like the bigger whales out there to invest resources into this for minor buffs. However, Soul Gathering statue, that's a whole nother ball game, because that's actually giving you a decent amount of stats and controlled fixed stats across all of the stats on the hero. So I'm thinking this might be a higher demand, and I want to take a look at our auction house right now and see how much it's going to cost per point on Starry Gem, because that could be a big influence. Right now, it is looking like C- and C+ type heroes are probably going to be the best bang for your buck as far as the new charging progress goes. But let's take a look live and see what it's all about. So as you guys know, all day today, we're going to be talking about this Soul Gathering statue and different things to break down from this. One of them is going to be, well, if we are going to want to do this distribution of stats, mainly on our strongest heroes, Lord of Fear Aspen is going to be the top candidate for this right here. You're going to be able to see stat increases that are pretty relevant compared to what you gain from Soul Perfection. Soul Perfection, it's like a random stat gets upgraded. It costs a lot of B tier copies, whereas this one is a guaranteed stat boost, 1 attack and HP per each. And remember, these stats as they go up are multiplicative for what you have in your treasure train. So you're going to start to see some really good improvements on your account and your team, even if you're just rocking B+ heroes. Yes, it's not giant kill or anything like that, but it is going to give bonus stats. And that's the big thing we want to talk about, is what is the cost ratio going to be for this? Because, well, yes, you can use, all your lower tier copies as well. However, as far as the auction house goes, you're basically going to be getting copies that are C and higher at this point. Or C- and higher, sorry. And what we want to see is how much charging progress is it going to cost per Starry Gem from the auction house. Now, we're not going to check this out on TapTap. What we're going to do, we're going to jump on over here to the auction house on our main account here. So let's take a look and check out some rates. We want to just literally go per category, and what we're going to do is just check out the buyout price. Essentially, this can change, but as it stands right now, you can get C- copies for probably, it looks like 77 is like the hard baked number right now. We're just going to use 80 as an average overall, because as people buy these up, the prices are going to go higher and higher depending on when you purchase copies. So they will be, of course, they're going to cost more in the long run. So if this is the case, we're going to keep bouncing back and forth between these right here. So if that's the case, we have C- heroes at a charging progress of 450. Well, if we jump over to here and we see even at 80 cost, what that means is you should be getting a rate of 0.178 Starry Gems per charging point. And honestly, at this point in time, even at a cost of 80, it is going to be one of the better options, because it's the lowest Starry Gem to point rate. The other one that kind of fits very similar to that is the C+ category, at even doing it at 160, because I know there's not a bunch of them up for too cheap, but I did it at a 160 rate, and it came out to be just about the same, 0.178 Starry Gems per charging point in the new system. The only one that was slightly off this number here would be the C tiers. I put them at 115. I don't know if their rate stays right around this or not, and most of them are 115 or cheaper. But at 115, if you come over and take a look at the rate we're going to be getting, that's only 600 points, and at a rate of 600 points, for 115 Starry Gems, that's a 0.192 Starry Gem 2 point of progress in this new system. Once you go beyond this, the value becomes much worse, and unless the prices on the auction house of B-, B+, and A- heroes comes way down, we're not going to see that happen. The downside of this is you'll notice B- heroes, they're going for like 220-ish, 240. I used 240 in my calculation. It came out to a rate of about 0.24 Starry Gems per point, because of course you do get 1,000 points over here from a B- copy. That is not the right one I'm talking about right here. That's not the right one either. Oh man, so many sources. This right here. So you can see B- is a 1,000 point cost, and then over here they're costing about 240, so 0.24 Starry Gems per point. It's interesting. Unless these prices come down, which I really don't know if they will, because the one big thing is retirement value is still a thing here, and B- go for 300. I can't really see them dropping much lower. If anything, the rate might go up if the demand and the supply of C-, C, and C+ copies kind of diminish. I do think sticking with these three are going to be the way to go if you are looking to pre-stock up on a bunch of hero copies, especially since, you know, we're not in a Soul Awakening Gala, we're not in a Soul Awakening session, and the rate just gets like worse and worse as you go up in this list here. So if we do this, gotta wait 3 seconds, gotta love it, come on, there we go. If we go up to here, they're about 445 is what I put as an average, but you can see there's not many B tier heroes. The B tier heroes sell for 1,800. That's a rate of 0.247. It gets even worse when we jump up to the B+ tier heroes. They sell for about 1,500 a piece. Pretty regularly, they cash in for 6,000 points. That's a rate of 0.25 Starry Gems per point, and then it gets even worse. Actually, no, sorry. It actually gets better when you go up to A- tiers, but that's only if you're getting them for about 7,000. And you can see most of them are not going for that cheap right now. You might snag 1 or 2 copies here and there, but even at 7,000, you're getting 30,000 points for those Starry Gems, and that's only a rate of 0.233 progress when we are comparing them. So it's going to be interesting to see how this actually plays out, because again, the charging progress for these copies just seems so good for the rate they go. However, if the prices spike up, because of course there's going to be a much higher demand on C- to B, probably C- to C+ hero copies, because I actually think in comparison to the Soul Perfection system, this one has valid value to your hero. You're not worried about bumping them up. You're not because the worst part, I mean, Soul Perfection would be a good system if it didn't take 5 A- copies to awaken them from a B+ to an A- hero, and it costs a ton further past that. The benefit of this is it doesn't cost any A tier heroes. It technically doesn't cost any B- B or B+. You can purely put your copies from E- to C+ in and generate power on your account. But of course, that's going to be directly affected by the amount of Starry Gems at your disposal. Currently, we're only sitting on like 3,000. I can actually do the math on that for you if you guys are wondering. If I take a look at C-, and we're going to go at the 80 rate right here. So if we have 80 per C copy, we can do 3,000 divided by 80 points per. That means we can get about 37-ish copies. 37 times 450 points is a total of 16,650 progression here, and of course you have to divide that by 100, so that's literally 166.5 points, which means that is still nowhere near what the cap is on a hero. Even here, if we take that, let's actually do the math on that. So for a B tier hero, 1085 and subtract like 165 off that, that's 920 left. Man, that's pretty crazy. I still need 920, so 165 divided by 920 is what? That's like about 18%, which means you need to do this 5 or 6 more times, meaning to just cap out like a B tier hero, that's going to be costing about 15,000 Starry Gems in that ballpark, which means to like really cap out a very high hero, it's going to cost tens and tens of thousands. S and tiers and higher, that means it's going to be 5 times the cost of this, maybe even 6 times the cost. Was that 15,000 Starry Gems? Multiply that by an additional or multiply it by 5. You're talking about 75,000 to 100,000 Starry Gems if you want to max out your SSS heroes. So whales might be going hard on this. We'll just have to see exactly what the power looks like. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hopefully my math was right. I'll put it in the description down below. I'll see you guys next time.